you doing, Doc?
I need fuel.
Give me fuel, take a fly, ship me trace it out of sight.
Now, here are your hosts, John Eddie Jr. and Tom Tuttle.
Welcome back to Fantasy Fuel. Week 11 is almost over.
Yep.
We're changing it up a little bit. Normally, I give you a bunch of interesting tidbits about the NFL, but today we're diving straight into fantasy, but we're going to have a second different podcast and show, and that's where we're going to get into the real nitty-gritty, because we have had topics that we wanted to get into on this show, and we said, well, it's not fantasy relevant.
Yeah.
So we're going to make our opinions known in a second podcast.
Our podcast was already going way too long.
Way too long. So we are limiting our time. We're going to do a couple of half-hour podcasts. So if you still like to listen to us for an hour, you'll still get an hour. But we are going to dive right into it fantasy-wise. We want to talk about some winners and losers this season, some things that maybe we regret doing, some things that really panned out. I mean, we've been talking about the good stuff for most of the year, so we'll probably try and keep it to what went wrong this year in fantasy football, because there are a few obvious ones, and then there are a few that just, you know, you get unlucky. And when you get unlucky, like in the flag league, unfortunately for Tom, because of the tiebreaker rules, unless something
I would have the
really
tiebreaker on probably both of them, but no,
because my fantasy league does not do head-to-head properly. It is down the list of tiebreakers. Mm-hmm. And
what is it that they don't do right?
It's almost like an all-play head-to-head. It's not me versus you. If you beat me, that's a tiebreaker. That's not what their head-to-head is.
So
that
it's
is like
an all-play record?
It's not an all-play, but all-play of the teams that we played both. Like, if we both played the Packers and I lost and
that's
you
dumb.
won.
How can they not figure out the regular head-to-head? That seems so much easier.
It should be that much easier. So there's topic number one is head-to-head and whatnot tiebreakers in my fantasy league. It's been years, and they have not changed it as far as I know. Mm-hmm. I'll have to, in the off season, maybe write a nice long email to them and tell them what I think about that and if it's ever going to change, because I would like to have that as the first tiebreaker, because obviously that's how normal
that's the NFL works.
Yes,
that's how fantasy football should work.
Yes.
But it is what it is.
So
I think I got in one year because of that rule. So
it's very possible, yeah. So let's start with the flag league, and let's see what went wrong. I mean, we were both on the cusp of the playoffs all year long. I lost to my dad, who has a very weak team this year, and I thought, this is the beginning of the end. I had injuries. Devontae Adams was hurt. Deshaun Jackson goes on IR. Will Fuller gets hurt, and I'm still winning. My defense has finally showed up. So in this particular league, IDP, I got some good guys on the cheap that ended up showing up this year. What went right and wrong for you?
Boy, so many things went right.
You were very, very active even before the season started.
I've traded a lot of people away. I don't even remember who I had at the start. It was because I just boom, getting rid of players and getting value and whatnot. But I got a bunch of guys that I felt were consistent. And for the most part, they've been consistent. But sometimes consistent isn't always the best thing, because you're getting these consistent 15 points, but you always need that one guy to give you 30 points. Sometimes if you don't get that 30 and you get somebody who's not getting that 15 all of a sudden, like a guy that I've started every week hoping that he would be good is Robbie Anderson. Of course, I didn't start him this week and he got a touchdown. But it was only one reception.
Right.
So it's like, what's the point of that? And of course, I didn't start BC Johnson, and he got 6 receptions. So
did you start Pharaoh Cooper?
I did not. And every week I look at him, I'm like, man, he's been really good, but I can't start him. This doesn't feel right, because I got other guys. And that's the thing. I feel like the consistency, to an extent, bit me in the butt, but not really, because any other year I'm in the playoffs.
Right.
If I win next week, I'm 11-5.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to miss the playoffs
You're
at 11-5.
not supposed to miss at 11-5, but because of the dumb tiebreakers in my fantasy league, that is where we're at.
Well, at this point, somebody would be missing anyway because we're all tied at 11-5.
Yeah,
but
except
it's just
for
not,
Joe, who had a tie in a league where 250 to 300 points usually gets you, and we do decimal scoring.
Yes.
There was still a tie in this league. I don't remember what the exact number of points was, but that tie now makes it so I have to beat him in week 12 in order to win the division and get a first round bye.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that would
but
be.
I believe we are basically both full strength, so at least it won't be any stupid buys.
Now, however, if for some reason you lose this week, wow,
I get the trophy. Is that what happens?
No.
Anybody that was watching
that is
on
not
Twitch,
a sign.
A blow trophy just ended up falling on my head. I'm not sure if that was a sign of things to come, whether I'm knocking down the trophy
or the trophy's knocking you down so you get out.
That could be too. It could be.
That means you're going to lose today.
Okay. I'm going to lose today?
Today.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to make the playoffs because of your loss.
I am up by 58, and he has Travis Kelce and a safety left.
Yeah.
I mean, it is possible.
Now, either way, if you won the rest of your games, I couldn't beat you because you actually are ahead of me as far as standings go.
Right.
But I really need the Falcons to lose next week to a team that is not going to beat them.
Yeah.
But you never know.
You never, ever know. So just a quick little recap here. The Flag League is 16 teams in 2 separate conferences, so there is a lot that can go right and a lot that can go wrong.
Yes. I think the main thing that went wrong with me is my tight ends.
Yeah. That
Trey Burton all year I could not depend on. I had a bunch of other backup, I think I had, I'll scroll down real quick. I had Trey Burton, Derek Carrier, which I never started. Never expected to start. Charles Clay, which I think I started maybe once.
He got a touchdown this week, I think.
Yeah. And Virgil Green, I maybe once started him during Trey Burton's injury-prone era.
Yeah.
And then I had to do something. I had to trade to get a tight end that I actually wanted. Now I have Mark Andrews, and I got him for at least 2 more years after this year. So I feel good about that. I feel confident about that. And the way that Josh Allen played yesterday.
Yes.
Makes me feel a heck of a lot better about trading Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
But I got some defensive guys out of that trade, too. So
now, how many guys do you have on IR in that league?
The problem is I got 2.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
Trey Burton just got on IR.
Oh.
The other guy was Lamar Miller, who I was counting on, but ended up having Carlos Hyde take that place anyway. So,
guess how many players I have on IR?
I'm guessing it's close to 6 or so.
10
players.
Now, a few of these guys are not really worth too much, but there were guys like Adrian Phillips, the safety for the Chargers, who had actually done pretty decent. Clinton McDonald, the defensive tackle, who has been very consistent for me in the past. Deshaun Jackson. Obviously, I got almost nothing out of him this year. Mm-hmm. That sucked.
Yep.
Travis Benjamin, who I thought might have had a better role when he went back to the Chargers. Darren Sproles barely got on the field this year. Theo Riddick, I thought when he signed with Denver, I was like, oh, well, there's a chance for him to be the pass-catching back, and I'll just get, 6, 8, 10 points out of him on a decently consistent basis, and I'll be okay with that, especially during bye weeks. Didn't even get on the field.
Yeah.
And then I picked up Trevor Siemian because I was desperate for quarterbacks at one point. He went on IR. And it was just.
Now, and you've still been successful because you drafted and you put together a team after the draft. Obviously, you can't stop after the draft, but you've been consistent, and that's why you can still plug the gaps for the IR people. Now, even if I had some more than just the 2 guys on IR, I can plug the gaps. I've got like Kendrick Bourne, who's been pretty good. Obviously, you said Farrell Cooper, who's actually been really good this year. BC Johnson has been up and down. Hunter Renfro, he's not normally a starter. I just brought him up last week.
He's been fine.
Yep. Andre Roberts for punt kick return stuff. It gives you a lot of points. And I haven't even played Willie Snead, and he's been getting something every week. So the consistent factor is something that can get you through injury bug of a team, because a lot of people, you get injury bug and they're done. But if you have other consistent players, you can get through it.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's talk about some other leagues. Let's talk about another league we have done together and is just blowing the competition away.
It's awesome.
We made a few moves. This is a league that we actually traded for Antonio Brown at one point, so that's a bad move.
Yes.
But we were able to get rid of him almost immediately.
And we got something that we can hope for in the future.
Yeah, we got like a draft pick and a couple of young wide receivers.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all for naught. And the reason we had Antonio Brown is because we traded away Mitch Trubisky,
Which was the best move we've ever made.
And
So-
this is a super flex league. So our quarterbacks in this super flex league are Josh Allen,
Yes.
Phillip Rivers,
Good.
Ryan Tannehill,
Pretty good.
and we had Joe Flacco. But,
Yeah, we
you
don't need that anymore.
we don't need that. Should have played Jakeem Grant in that league.
Yeah. Wow.
But we this was a league we drafted last year as an auction league, and we had to settle for Christian McCaffrey and Michael Thomas as our number ones. So we did very well in the draft last year. We actually traded for Todd Gurley in this league.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to get rid of him, didn't want the headache anymore, and he's been fine.
He's been
for
fine.
us.
He's not what he's normally was 2 years ago.
But we gave up T.J. Hawkinson
Yes.
and like a second or third round
It's completely worth it. We didn't need Hawkinson.
No, we had Austin Hooper,
Right.
Who got
well,
hurt.
that's a problem now, but
Who replaced Austin Hooper for us in this league? Sticky hands Ryan Griffin.
that's right. That guy.
Sticky hands Ryan Griffin. Yeah, he caught a bunch of balls, 5 for 5 for 109 yards and a touchdown this last week. I actually told Eric, who I work with,
Yep.
To pick him up like 2 weeks ago, and he had almost nothing. And then now, hopefully, he played him this week, and he kept him on his roster.
Yeah.
But that league, everything has gone right. It is a league where we not only play against our player, but if we beat the league average that week, we get an extra win.
Yeah.
So after this week, we will be 20-2.
That's pretty amazing.
pretty good.
It's pretty amazing.
But the downside for this league is, I believe this week or this championship game is in week 17.
Oh, for real?
I believe so.
That is ridiculous. I can't stand Week 17 championship games.
I know. Hopefully our guys just keep on rolling, and we have a great bench, so even if somebody
Yeah, I
gets-
mean, I'm not worried that we can't be competitive in that game, but, well, we got to get there. I'm not going to get ahead
yeah,
of
of course,
ourselves
of
yet.
course.
We can lose. It's happened in the league twice, but only twice.
So there was a couple of good and bad decisions in that league. Let's move on to our listener league. We'll throw that in the middle since we're about halfway through our 30 minutes. It has been everybody's very average-ish in this league. I mean, there are 3 top teams at 7-3, and I believe I'm going to beat one of them this week. So they'll be 7-4, and I'll be up to 6-5, and still right there in the thick of things, which is kind of insane because this particular team, for me, was not one I was very happy with.
Yeah. I was happy with my team, but I also knew that there was going to be some time before things started kicking off in gear. And that's exactly what's happened. I'm going to win this week. It'd be almost impossible for me not to. I'm down by 6 points, and I got Tyreek Hill and Melvin Gordon left, and he's got nothing.
I hope you can.
Yeah, if I don't win this game, then I'm just done. I'm done with the listener league at this point. But, oh shoot, I went too far. I'm going to the standings in here, and I am not the greatest standing. I am 4-6, but I started out terribly.
Yes, you did.
I have climbed right back into it, and I should be 5-6 here. And if
you can win out and be 7-6,
if I can win out, there's
a chance.
There's a chance to make the playoffs because everybody's very close to each other. And I'm going to beat one of the guys that are 6-4. That's the guy I'm playing against. So I want to see what Ace's team is doing.
Well, while you're looking at that, this is where we talk about Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh, no.
Because I had end of the first round, and my first 2 picks were Juju and Julio. And last year, that would have been
great.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
This year, Juju has just been awful.
It's very disappointing. Now he's hurt, so it's not making
through
anything better.
11 weeks, he has 38 catches. Just over 3 catches a week, 524 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Man, oh, man.
61 targets. So he is just over 50% catch rate as well. Mm-hmm. And, of course, that has to do partially with no Ben Roethlisberger. Their running backs have been banged up. That whole team has been...
Yeah.
The best move that team has made this year was to get Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that.
And if you have Minkah in IDP leagues, you were very happy with him. But as far as Juju goes, that was probably my loser of the year so far. But that's not the only loser on my team, because I tried to trade off Juju and Marlon Mack at one point just to try and upgrade, and Marlon Mack has
started the year out so good, and then it just kind of fell off.
He did, and now he's hurt. He's got like a broken hand.
Yeah.
So luckily, I don't need him. I had Derrick Henry go to the bench this last week because of his bye week, so I can plug him right back into that hole. I also have Austin Eckler on that team, who has been fine.
He's been good. He's been great until Melvin Gordon came back, and then it kind of petered off a little bit because it felt like they changed the game plan.
They did.
And it's weird because you still think Eckler has something to offer him, which he still does.
He does.
But you would think, well, all them points in the first few weeks, why wouldn't you just kind of keep doing that to a certain extent?
Right.
But they kind of went away from it, and it kind of hurts.
It kind of hurts, and they're still not out of that division.
That's so sad.
As of right now, believe the Raiders are tied for first place in that division, and we thought that was not even close to being possible. And they have the Bears' first-round pick coming up for this next draft.
John Gruden, everything we ever said about him, he has put it together, and somehow he gets the guys to play for him.
Is it John Gruden or is it Mike Mayock?
It's John Gruden. It's John Gruden, 100%.
Another person on the team, my team here, that started off amazing. He's still been fine. Is Chris Godwin.
Yeah,
he started out.
We were like,
amazing.
Oh my, this guy's going to be the best in the league, and then it didn't quite get there, but he's still been okay. It's not been special though, like it was.
And then before we move on to another league, we have to talk about the week 1. Just what is the word I'm looking for? We thought, okay, this is his time to shine. He is playing as a number 1 wide receiver. He went completely bananas week 1. I didn't play him week 1. Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins. Man, I'm so glad that I'm done with that guy. I don't want to touch that guy anymore.
He's week just 1 been sitting there. I can't bring myself to drop him, but I'm not playing him.
Week 1, everybody's saying, oh my goodness, he's more involved in this offense. This is going to be his breakout year, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he does that every year. He has one big, huge game. Everybody goes crazy, and then he does nothing. I mean, it's not been nothing. He's been okay some games.
Just about Juju numbers, though.
That's pretty bad.
40 catches, 512 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Yeah. That is almost exactly what Juju has. And he didn't.
But he's a number 2 on an NFL team. Juju's supposed to be the number 1.
Right, that's very true.
It does make a little bit of a difference.
I was able to pick up Stephon Diggs in that league off of waivers one week. I was just like, oh, all right. I mean, if nobody else wants him.
That's a good pickup.
And I was... I don't remember what defense I had, but they were on bye, so there was not much left. I picked up the Jets defense, and they got me 9 points this week. Who would have thought?
Well, not me. No. Although Dwayne Haskins, not the greatest.
And he got garbage time points, and I was playing against him in the
true.
flag league. And I was like, just stop. Come on, Jets. Like, don't let him score anymore. It doesn't matter.
That's the problem with the NFL, though. You get up at a big league. Well, we can talk about this later.
We'll talk about that in the other podcast we are going to be doing. Another guy that I had in quite a few leagues that really didn't pan out. I'm going to click on his stats right now. And he has less catches, right around the same amount of yards and touchdowns as the last two guys we were talking about. 22 catches, 420 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
That one is acceptable.
Yeah.
I feel like that's way more acceptable than the other two because you weren't expecting to have huge numbers out of this guy. You were thinking there's a chance at the start of the season, we were thinking maybe Equanimeous takes that role.
And he goes on IR.
Right. So he got kind of put in this situation, and I thought he would be a little better. Obviously, I think we all kind of did, but
yeah,
it hasn't really panned out for him this year.
It has not panned out. All right, let's move along. We're going to talk about my work league really quick because it has I have guys on this team that I have nowhere else. I'm still in the hunt. I think I'm in a playoff spot as of right now, but it's weird. I mean, I have played with quarterbacks back and forth. I originally had Josh Allen, and then I dropped him and picked up Stafford, and he started doing good, and then Stafford got back. And guess what? I was able to pick up Josh Allen again this week, so we're right on target. My first overall pick was Alvin Kamara. Only league I have him in.
You have to think that's going to be great, so but it's not. Yeah.
Odell Beckham.
Oh, man. Oh, that's, to me, this might be one of the biggest busts. Almost worse than Juju as far as bust goes. Because you were expecting so much more out of the entire team, let alone just him.
Right.
And it has not been good.
And I have put up with the ups and downs of Mike Evans in this league.
You go way up, and then you go way down.
And then, I had Jarvis Landry as well, so I've been playing him and Odell.
Yeah.
I'm getting double-digit points out of both of them, but what I'm getting out of both of them is what you'd expect from Odell once in a while himself.
Right.
So I haven't been getting him.
Yep.
I was able to pick up Terry McLaurin in that league, so
That's normally a good pick.
I've had Joe Mixon on the bench because I never know when to play him when he's going to have a good game.
It's a tough one. That's just
Derek Green.
Can we say Joe Mixon is just one? That might be worse than everybody else we've talked about. Joe Mixon. I mean, he has had good games. I'm not going to say that, but you have completely forgotten about this guy.
He got his first rushing touchdown of the year this last week.
That is so
He has
sad.
3 receiving touchdowns and 1 rushing.
That is so sad.
It is weird.
That is just the most messed up stat you can think of as far as what you were expecting out of him.
Yeah, so this was the league I just kind of went all off the board of other leagues that I was doing. I have David Montgomery and Miles Sanders sitting on there. I picked up Vance McDonald a couple weeks ago. I think he was going against the Cardinals or something. I was like, oh, here it is. This is the chance. And he didn't do me anything. And then I was hoping, because I had enough bench spots, to just maybe let A.J. Green come into the mix. And that was one that we told you to wait. Just wait. And then maybe pick him off in like the 7th or 8th round if you've got an IR spot or whatnot. That is a bad move.
Here we are.
Going into week 12, and we still don't know if A.J. Green is going to play.
I don't think he's going to play the rest of the season. There's no point.
There really isn't.
They are so bad. There's no point in putting out one of your best players at risk of getting him hurt again. And you want him for next year if you're going to have any sort of chance or any kind of quarterback that you need to build confidence with. You need him out there. You don't want to risk it.
Nope, you don't. All right, we'll talk about my other Superflex league, and then we'll end on the best league that we have going this year.
That's a pretty league.
So I started, it was a new auction draft Superflex league, and it went like bananas at first. People were going for, I think we had $2,500 was the in-game currency, and people like Christian McCaffrey going for like $650, $700.
Insane.
Zeke going for around the same, and my first player that I got,
Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
I remember this because I was talking him up all year.
You were.
I'm thinking Aaron Jones is going to be great this year, and he has been great.
Yes, and this was. There's 24 teams in this league, so there was 2 copies of every player. So there was the first copy of Christian McCaffrey that went bananas.
Yeah.
I got the second copy for like $550.
There you go. Now you got the top 5, 2 of the top 5 guys in fantasy football for running backs.
I also have Derrick Henry,
who's been really tremendous.
I also have Mark Ingram.
That's been great too.
I also have James White, who's been meh.
He's been
I also have Jamal Williams, the backup for Aaron Jones, who's actually been playable as well.
Yep.
I started off Superflex with Carson Wentz and Josh Allen. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't have anybody to replace him with. Could not buy myself a third quarterback by the time I didn't have much money left. But
You picked up?
I picked up Ryan Tannehill.
That's at this point. That's
I actually
a
had
really
him
good deal.
at the beginning of the year in this league. I was like, he's going to get in eventually. Hopefully he gets in before my bye week start, and he did.
And he did. That's
so
nice.
I picked that one right up. My wide receivers are a little because Jarvis Landry's been fine.
Yep.
I picked up Dante Pettis, hoping he was going to be, and that was
That's not
just
good.
terrible.
That's
but I did pick up Michael Gallup in this league.
That's a good pick.
He's been
It's a good pickup.
just fine.
Yep.
And then tight ends, this is a premium per catch league, so each position is like half for wide receivers, full point for running backs, and 1.5 points per catch for tight ends.
Nice.
I took Travis Kelce, who has been fine, but not like amazing like we thought he would be this year. I also have Kyle Rudolph, who lately he has been scoring touchdowns.
I feel like as long as Thielen is off the field, and now that they realize that Rudolph is actually doing something, they can probably go to him every single week.
And it helps that Adam Thielen
is off the field,
just
of course.
Off the field, and we don't even have to worry about him.
Right.
But that's where we thought Olabisi Johnson would come in, and he has.
He did good this last week, but I didn't start him, obviously.
Yes. And I also have Chris Conley in this league. I don't think I've gotten to play him once, but he's got a decent amount of points.
Yeah, he has. He's one of them inconsistently consistent. He's good a bit bad, and if you pick the right week, you got something good out of him. So
yep. So in this particular league, I'm second place in my division, but I'll be winning both games this week. I don't know how their doubleheaders work. Just every once in a while, I'm like, oh, playing 2 games this week. All right. Good thing my guys went off this week, so I will be 10-4 in that league after this week.
That's a good record.
That's a good record. Mm-hmm. What's a better record?
Oh, maybe something with 0 losses.
That is a better record. And we still have one of those even after this week. We will be 11-0.
Yes.
In the network. Our friend Reggie, he's commissioner of this league and the content creator league. We're in both of those. In first place in both of those, but this one we are going to be 11-0 after this coming week.
Yes.
We played somebody who I don't even know if they're paying attention to their team right now. But
that always makes things a little easier.
Yes, it does. But we still scored 155 points in this league, which is good enough for a win most times. And I'm clicking on our team right now. Oh, that's right. We have Lamar Jackson in this league.
That guy, which I said we got to get him.
We got to get him.
And we did.
And then, let's see, who was our first overall pick in this league? Oh, it was probably Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad.
He's been good.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Our second pick, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's been tremendous.
He's been all right.
All right.
He's been all right.
My gosh.
Your
standards are very low.
Our third pick, I believe, was Derrick Henry.
That's been good.
He's been all right. I'm trying to think who our fourth pick was here. We got Tyler Boyd, Kenny Galladay was in there, and he's been pretty good. And then, we had T.Y. Hilton in there, who was great for the first part of the year.
Yeah.
And we had Austin Hooper in this one. So we had the championship, combination.
Yep.
Now we're hoping to battle through a few of these. It's not like we're going to miss the playoffs, but our
we
guys,
probably already locked that up. I'm assuming.
I'm sure. Should
Yeah.
we look at the standings
Yeah,
real
let's
quick
do that
before
real
we
quick.
get out of this one and end the fantasy portion of the night before we head over to the NFL? Okay, well, we've locked up a playoff spot because there are 4 teams that are basically running this league. We are 10-0, going to be 11-0 in this week. Reggie is in second place in our division at 8-2.
Okay,
which normally
that's a
would
good
be
record. Yeah,
good. And then in the other league or other division, there's an 8-2 and a 7-3, and everybody behind that is 5-5. I don't know where they all pan out for this week.
yeah, we locked it up then.
We have locked it up.
Are there buys? How does this one go?
You know what? I think I asked him the other day, and I don't know that I got a response. So
Come on, Reggie.
We'll have to go and see. Oh, he is. He's hosting us right now. He's possibly listening. Hey, what are those rules? We will get a buy, he says. Oh,
Yeah.
we can let our guys heal up. Not sure how that works, but we need some guys to
Okay,
no.
we're not in the actual NFL portion of the show.
No,
yet.
we're not in the NFL portion of the show.
Let them heal up.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
What? I just, you just got to look. So, before we end, I just want to look at all the top performers and see if maybe there's one or two that has stood out on offense, because obviously not everybody plays with individual defensive players, because there's been some standouts in the league this year, like Shaq Barrett for me was just a welcome sight, because my linebackers were awful heading into the year, and I've had a couple guys like him and Bud Dupree have some really good weeks. I'm like, okay, here we go. So honestly, a couple of surprises, like Kyler Murray has been pretty darn good.
I said if he produces, I'll buy in. I've bought in. He's been very good fantasy-wise.
Yes, he has.
And he's not been bad at quarterback.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, he is the only person that so far has gotten a 100 quarterback passer rating against the 49ers, and he did it both games.
Yeah.
But as you pointed out, he has
how many wins against the 49ers?
0 wins against the 49ers. So a little quick look at running backs. Josh Jacobs has actually been pretty darn good this year. We did not think he was worth a second-round pick where he was going in most spots. But
when we say these things, we're saying them with caution, and we have to make sure these things actually happen before we rate these players higher. And so it's happened. Next year, Josh Jacobs will climb up that list, guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Another surprise this year. A little bit of a surprise. We were talking about it. We were a little apprehensive before the season started. Tariq Cohen.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a league that was getting some punt and kick return yards, he was a little disappointing.
I'm just glad last year was the year I said he was going to be great.
Yes.
And then I didn't really say anything about him. I think
Bears,
I said
all offseason, instead of talking about key players that they were going to get involved, they just kept talking about the double doink. And everybody was like, we just don't care anymore. I don't feel like playing.
I don't know what's going on with the Bears, but obviously the whole thing is it's in a very troubling position at this point. And Tariq Cohen, what's funny is before the season began, I tried to trade for him, and they said, you can't have Tariq Cohen. And so instead they gave me Philip Lindsay. I was like, okay, I'll take him. And that's worked out just fine.
Well,
so
let's see.
Lindsay hasn't been great the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But he's been better than Cohen.
I was just looking at that. Philip Lindsay, where was he at? He's the number 15 overall running back in the flag
number
league.
One. Close.
So,
in the flag
league, that is an RB1. Yep. And then we were talking about Tariq Cohen. He's 25, which isn't terrible in the flag league, but again, he's getting the kick and punt return yards.
Yep.
Wide receiver, I think my biggest surprise that I have seen at wide receiver is DJ Chark.
Yeah, when I did the shuffling the deck on him,
you didn't do one on him. You did D.D. Westbrook and talked about DJ Chark.
I talked about Chark, and I said I think I'd rather have had done him.
Right.
But yeah, I really think Chark, I thought at the moment he was going to have a great year. And, well, not maybe a great year, but a surprising year.
Yes.
And I really, really, really like him now. Like, to me, next year, I'm going to go after him probably sooner than I should because I like him that much.
at least you've got a few more weeks to see if he stays
Yeah, of course.
on target with Nick
everything
Foles.
dictates what's going on
Right.
in the current situation.
And I will say, too, I conceded. I told Joe we could draft this player, and he's been fine. He has been really good.
You don't sound very happy about it.
Well, I mean, I'm still looking at it, and it's still a little inconsistent.
Okay.
The way he has been, but the number 5 overall wide receiver in the flag league is Amari Cooper.
Yeah. I was helping one of my friends do a draft, and Amari Cooper fell so far, and I was like,
Do it.
you have to pick him up. I don't like it, but you got to pick him up. And yes, he has been great, and I'm putting my foot in my mouth for him because he's been great. There's a lot of people we're talking about that have been good, and we kind of were down on. But
Yes.
all the people we were up on, nobody else was up on, and every one of them seems like they've proven us right for that. So we're right a lot. Sometimes
Yeah.
we're a little off. Not
And-
completely wrong, but just a little off.
The last guy I want to talk about is somebody that we thought was a perfect landing spot for him, but I didn't think he would be this good. And he jumped up a few spots probably after this last week because he had, in the flag league, 35.9 points. Mm-hmm. And he is now the number 12 overall wide receiver,
Okay.
John Brown.
John Brown. Yeah. It's when I was doing some I kind of stopped doing the daily stuff. I was just like, I'm getting kind of sick of it. But when I was doing daily, I picked him like 3 weeks in a row because it's just like, wow, he's cheap and he's been very good.
He has not had a single game under 10 points in the flag league.
Yep. That is as consistent as
Brown.
it gets.
John Brown.
Yep.
That is amazing.
Yep.
So we're going to leave you guys on that note. If you're watching on Twitch, we're not going anywhere. We've got a second
We're just going to
episode.
start a new one.
We're just going to start a new one where we're going to talk about football, period, because we would love to give our opinions.
That did not sound right, what you said there.
Football, period.
Oh, that's just... That's a bad one.
We'll get into that because I could segue into something into the next one. But we are going to get going. I hope all you guys out there are in the playoff hunt still,
Yes.
or maybe have locked up a spot because it's here. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
We're my only goal at this point in all the leagues we're in is to go undefeated. I've never
Yes.
been undefeated
Yeah.
an entire season. So even though we've locked up a playoff spot and probably a bye week,
Yeah.
I still want to win every game in this league.
You have to. Once you're undefeated, you have to shove that in everybody's face.
Yes,
That's
so,
part of it.
We're getting out of here. We're going to do our other show all about just football stuff. That's going to be called Fuel on the Fire. It's a reprise of what I've done solo, but now we're going to be doing it together. And it's going to be a lot better and a lot
gonna
more
be
fun.
great.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. If you're on Twitch, stay right there. We're still going to do more.